I'm gonna hop in straight into the pool. I'll start with a rapping game as I wait for people to arrive. Frenzy Lee is first. Zactress, Nano Nate. Okay, first opponent playing HSN 246. Welcome back to people. Okay, starting with a Sicilian. I'll play Knight C3. I've mixed it up recently, but Knight C3, it's a tricky move order. It avoids certain lines. G6. All right, let's play a delayed Rosalimo. Bishop B5. Hello to many more people. Good to see a lot of people. We're actually transposing into a line that I usually get when I start with Knight C3 on move 2. But yeah, the main move is pawn digs knight. And there is a tricky line coming up. JD Ratto, welcome back.
Less than 3.
I appreciate the love. Happy 16 months. Yeah, we do have the Vegas command. I think I announced it in my previous stream, but I will be going to Vegas in about, a month and a few weeks for the National Open. Okay, so we have a line that I've had before in a few tournament games. I actually had this 3 times at the World Open. I forget what year it was, like maybe 2012, 2011. The move here is Queen A3. E6 was already a mistake from black. The best move in this position is not E6, but Knight H6. I think Knight F6 is also playable. The problem with E6 is this D6 square, or now the D6 pawn. I don't know. I could flip a coin. I'm gonna try and stay awake for the match. The game starts in 8 hours, I think. Maybe a little bit less than 8 hours. Welcome back to JM Welland. Happy 15 months. So I actually had this against Mark Esserman at the World Open Blitz tournament. And I had it twice in the same tournament in Classical. And it's a trap that even stronger players fall for. It's a slightly obscure line. There's not too many ways to defend the pawn. If bishop e5, then c3 takes and pawn d4 is very strong. Pretty sure Esserman played king e7 against me. I shared this line in a St. Louis Chess Club lecture from 2017. I'm pretty sure I shared a How You Found game in that lecture. Like king e7, c3. But it's been a while. Yeah, the match will start at 4 a.m. St. Louis time, which I think is 3 p.m. Kazakhstan time. Bishop f8. So bishop f8's a move. White wins a pawn. Black wants to play d5, which almost wins material. But after d5, I have bishop b5, bishop d7, and then I'll trade and play something like queen e3. I think queen d3 is also playable. Queen e3, there's bishop c5. Queen d3. I'll take a moment here. I feel like I've had this position before. I'm pretty sure I've played queen e3 before, but I'm trying to figure out what happens after bishop c5. Because black's threatening to take. Queen d3 might be just a safer option. I have a very vague memory of looking at this with the engine, and the engine saying both moves are playable. I first discovered this line probably around 2010, maybe 2009. Okay, so knight f6. The queen's attacked, and it has to stay defending the knight. Queen e5, bishop g7, and then maybe queen b5. Force a queen trade. And black might get some compensation. There's also this move. Still bishop g7. I think it's more of a judgment call. Queen e5, bishop g7, queen b5. Take, castle. I play d3. C file could be exploited. Queen h4, bishop g7. Let's play queen e5. Just want to trade. Simplify.
Happy Saturday, Eric. Happy Saturday, chat.
Happy Saturday, Mark Siebert. Yeah, for everyone just joining, this is going to be more chill, instructive, and maybe destructive rapid chess as the first game of the stream.
Happy 2 months, bro.
Happy 2 months. Jonathan Sampson. Hey, it's Ben and Karen. Appreciate the raid. Hope you had a good stream. Very timely raid. This is still the first game of my stream. I think Ben and Karen are going to be in Vegas. I heard rumors. I don't know if it's like officially announced though. Half true. So only Ben or Karen? Castling queenside. This is not a move that I was expecting. It looks playable though. My knight's hanging. If I take, take knight f3. It looks okay. So traded queens, up a pawn, a little bit behind in development. Oh, coming for the WSOP World Series of poker, probably. Okay, I feel like I'm slightly getting attacked. And c3 is like a restrictive attempt, but allows this, and then there's still some issues. If I play d4, d3 might be the better approach here. I do have to weather a small storm. Have to find my umbrella. Black's gonna start throwing punches. Knight b4, king d1, rook c7. But I think I have enough defenses. Rook c7, I have knight e1. It looks really passive, but then I can like gradually expand and hopefully develop. Yeah, this is not a London opening. This was a tricky Sicilian. A3 or bishop d2? Bishop d2 kind of looks appealing. I think I'll play bishop d2. Now I'm just trying to develop and hold on to my extra pawn and enjoy life. Welcome back to Andrew. You met a tricky Sicilian when Karen and I went to Italy. I've never been to Italy, but I'm going this summer. Maybe I'll meet some tricky Sicilians there. Or maybe just have some Sicilian pizza. Andrew gifting to Ben and Karen. Yeah, usually when you gift a sub, it goes to one person. But that sub went to two people. Oh, it's Pants O'Clock played your first online game on the chessboard. Yeah, I want to get back into trying to use a chessboard for online chess. Maybe do another stream or video at some point. Okay, that's a good sign. Following the life advice, always retreat. But now it's time to figure out what to do with the b pawn. I mean, rook b1 or king c1? Probably rook b1. Getting off the diagonal. I lost castling rights, but at least the position is solid. Like the pieces are, they're decently placed for black, but they're not really causing me any like serious issues. Duda says excited for tomorrow. Yeah, I know a lot of people are anticipating this match. I'm gonna try and stay awake for it. I slept in as much as possible today. But I fell asleep like after the opening of the final game to the soothing commentary of Robert and Fabi and Tanya. It starts at 4 a.m. Central. And it probably will last, I mean, 4 rapid games if they go to Blitz. And it could last like 5-6 hours easily. So f6. Always play f6. So what's the plan here? Maybe I can like do this and this. The king doesn't feel that great on d1. But even if I do that, like, to figure out some future for my pieces. There's h4. There's h3. So the knight's a bit misplaced. Maybe g3. Okay, bishop is maybe coming there. So now I'll do the king thing. Delayed bomb cloud. Yeah, positions like this require patience. Usually it's like very slow improvements. I'm looking for some opportunities. It's hard to like spot any like weaknesses in black's position. Like maybe eventually g4, g5. Maybe some knight maneuver. Okay, black wants to trade. Actually, don't mind trading, like a3. I could also take and play a3. Although then takes and rook c1, rook c7. I don't want to play c3. I'll play a3. If takes, I probably take with knight. And knight can find some happier life on e4, c4. As black, I would be looking to get the knight to d4. And the reason why I don't want to play c3 like ever is it would create a weakness on d3. Although maybe like rook d1, knight c4, c3, etc. Yeah, maybe it's time for c3. The d pawn isn't much of a weakness. Like, as long as it can be defended. And I'll be just in time to maneuver, or to move the knight and defend the pawn with a rook. I was in Ben's room. I wonder if that's Karen's like alternate account. Um, well, sometimes it will happen. Like, you'll have Ben's stream open, and then when Ben sends a raid, some people like won't be there for when the raid happens, and then they'll just land on my stream and be very confused. But Ben is still okay. Karen too, I think. You're just in a new place now. Okay, I'll play f3. One suggestion to play a tournament. I could join the tournament. It was kind of an awkward time when I started streaming, so I decided to hop in the pool first. Okay, we simplify a bit more. So it's a rook ending. I'm still up a pawn. And now the e-pawn is actually just as much of a target as a d-pawn. Because it's on the half-open file. Can't easily advance. Unleashing this rook. And like maybe d4 now. That's pinned to the rook on e7. Now I could play this, but rook f2 actually looks a bit more attractive. This is the only fully open file. Okay, black has some plan. Let's play this. So the calculation is, okay, king d5, rook b6, king c4, king c2. Very strong threat of b3. I don't think black is holding on to the pawn. It'd be nice to see rook d5, the only way to defend the b5 pawn. Oh no, my funny checkmate. I could play this move. How to do this? I mean, I'll just play this. It's simple enough. And pawn a4. Actually, there's no reason to move the pawn. I'll play this. Yeah, just trying to round up the e3 pawn. Okay. Yeah, overall, I think that was a pretty clean game. Featuring a nice opening trap. You see the master's database. So this position, most stronger players know the move knight h6, but it's not the most natural move if you haven't studied this line before. And e6 has been played 97 times. Ah, how you fought against Pia Cramling? I didn't realize it was Pia who walked into this. But yeah, knight b5, d6, queen a3, and like white's already Like doing really, really well here. Line that we went into, yeah, basically I want a clean pawn. I'm curious here though. Queen g3 was not a move on my radar. So even here, there's like queen e3. It's funny that I have the recommended move arrows turned on. So all these squares are possible for the queen. So what's the point of queen g3? Pawn takes pawn. I assume queen e5. That was very clever. So just leave the pawn undefended, but it's essentially defended by tactics. What is this line? 97. I guess whenever pawn takes pawn, queen e5 still. It's good to know. Yeah, so the point is our queen was attacked. We move it to a square where like there's the most activity. And I assume if bishop g7, we have e5. And then we blunt the power of the bishop. Oh yeah, if you're new here, this is Lichess. It's kind of the other major chess platform. Not quite chess.com, but very similar tools. Slightly different interface. I made one mistake this game. f3. I should have listened to Ben. Never play f3. Always play king f1. So why was f3? f3 is still much better for white though. Okay, I'm going to run a poll because I'm a little bit conflicted. What to do? Oh. Wait, what did I do? I just want to run a poll. There we go. What to do? Play a tournament? Play strong people in pool. Play strong maybe players? Enough characters? No. Play strong people in pool. Okay. Very quick poll. Yeah, usually joining a tournament, I'll play slightly lower rated players, but there might be a bigger storyline. It's kind of close. Okay, I guess I'll join the tournament. Joining the Rapid tournament. I think I'll stick with Rapid this stream. But maybe if I get a little bit tired, I'll up the pace to try and wake up. Play water polo in a pool. Someday in the future, can stream some water polo. Okay. Playing Moosebonsai. I'll play d5. I think I still have the Berserk extension. I didn't look at the Berserk button though. Okay, we have a Blackmar-Diemer Gambit, which I don't encounter too often, but I think it is an aggressive line. Like black does have to be careful. The move I generally like to play here is pawn c6. Essentially giving back the pawn.
Hope your weekend is going
Welcome
well.
back, Ember.
Always love your content. When was the last time we had a tie breaks at the WCC?
2018. Yeah, not too long ago. Bishop c4. I think bishop f5. Just reinforcing the pawn. And let's play this move. Yeah, Magnus against Fabiano in 2018, and then also Magnus against Karyakin in 2016. And then before that, I think Hanan Galfand. That was like 2010 maybe? In 2010. Okay, so we have a kind of a tense position. White really wants me to take the pawn, and then white gets kind of the happy Blackmar-Diemer setup, two half-open files and nice development. I'm going to play the move queen a5 here, which pins a knight. Also sneakily aligns with this bishop. There are lines where the bishop could be a tactical target. I'm also getting off the X-ray vision of the bishop because there's cases where if I were to play e6, then the knight would be pinned and I could run into trouble. Yes, I'm still announcing Vegas. I announced it the other day, but I feel like
I
some
used
people
to
missed
work
it.
at a fire hydrant factory. Couldn't park anywhere near the place.
Oh no, yeah, well, can never park near a fire hydrant. What to do? But that can be a good thing and cause you to get some more exercise. All right, there's already like crazy variations I'm trying to wrap my mind around. I'm really tempted to play b5. b5, bishop b3, b4. Take, take. I think I'll go for it. So I'm still keeping the tension, making a counter threat. And the idea of b4 is to provoke the knight to take on e4 rather than the pawn. Pawn takes is maybe playable though. Okay, now b4. Knight a4. Wow. Probably just e6. Bishop g6. I'll play pawn e6. It's a more natural move. Still leaving the pawn on e4. The pawn's defended, so if white takes, I'm happy to take back. Yeah, it's really hard to make a prediction of what's going to happen in the match. I mean, Ding probably has some small, like, psychological momentum, given that he could have easily lost the last game, and then he also was down a game previously. Okay, now do I take? Take. Oh, now is probably the time. So hitting the queen and then that'll be up 2 pawns. But white will have a lot of half-open files. I'll be a little bit behind in development, but I'll be ready to play bishop e7, probably end up castling. Life should be okay. And I do have a tactical threat here that white prevents but in doing so, giving me another pawn. I think I'll take with bishop. That way I'm closer to castling. Keep the knights connected. I still have a tactical threat. Thank you, KB Roulette. Gifting to Fuldan. Appreciate that. I'm not sure if I'll be playing any roulette in Vegas. I've played a few times in my life, but it's not great for conserving money. Okay, so I was threatening either this or this. White addressed it. I'm still up 3 pawns. I think very soon I'll castle. Another idea is to play knight d5, which would kind of block the power of the rook and bishop. Castle. It would be cool if there were like chess related games in casinos, but doesn't quite exist. There's no choker as far as I know. Why not 95? 95 was probably a very good move. I was more focused on king safety. I was a little bit full from consuming so many pawns. But yeah, 95 was probably a better move. My wife says you have a very soothing voice. Well, that's kind. Yeah, trying to be chill here. I know some people like to fall asleep to this stream, so I'm grateful for the people who find the stream soothing. Bishop d6. Almost wins the pawn. But I have the move rook e8. And now if bishop d5, I take back and I hit the queen. In the meantime, I think I'd like to start pawn storming. Like a5, a4, etc. Wow. Pawn c5 or pawn a5. Have to be a little bit careful of the bishop, but I think I'll play pawn a5. Thank you, Andrew. Gifting to JHG. JHG says Eric should add the ASMR tag to his streams. I guess I could if some people interpret it that way. I don't know if tags really help though. Like, do people search streams via tags? The tags that I have are educational, chess, and family friendly. How about relaxing, soothing? Okay, I have some more tags now. Happy. tea, even though I'm kind of drinking. I was drinking like an iced latte that the ice melted, so it's kind of watery. Okay. Stalemate. Haven't had any stalemates yet. Once I have a stalemate, I'll add it as a tag. H3 is an interesting move. So I've played this, there's rook h4, queen g6, rook g1. I mean, I could take another pawn and then be up 4 pawns. Might as well, as long as the queen's not getting trapped. I'm up 4 pawns. In compensation for the 4 pawns, white has 4 half-open files. But they're not the easiest to use. Knight's pinned. There might be ideas of e5, e4. Hey, welcome back to Diamond Cutter. Took a long break from chess. But yeah, it's been an exciting World Championship. Good to see you. I'm kind of tempted to do commentary, like to just stream like commentary of it. But I feel like I'm going to be way too tired for when the time rolls around. So I might just like just chill and watch the official commentary. Okay, a4. I'm trying to induce takes, and then the file will open. Actually, there's a funny threat. Not only does this file open, but this rank opens, which means I'm threatening this and winning the bishop. And the queen is tied down. Like queen d2 loses a rook. The queen's tied down to defending this. So I think I'm winning material here. Being up 4 pawns is not enough. Yeah, queen h6. This is why board vision is very important. See the targets. Still have to be a little bit careful. Because there's this move knight g5. But then they have pawn f6. Was there queen d1? Queen d1, I still have this and winning bishop.
Almost 2 years of good and entertaining content. Thank you.
Okay, guess we have a poll. I don't know who I would vote for though. I mean, realistically, I think Nepo would maybe be a small favorite in, at least in my mind. Right, what to do here? If I take, there's queen f7. Like everything should be winning. I have rook e2. Rook e2 looks pleasant.
Hi Eric, what's the worst thing to do at a stop sign?
I feel like anything I say, there is probably going to be a worse thing that you could do. So I'm not sure. I mean, not stopping is probably a pretty bad thing, but there's still probably worse things. All right, let's just take a knight. Play queen g6. Oh no, my pawn. Hey, Ding wins the poll. 51%. Okay. It was 33 to 35. Wow. Yeah, so this was actually kind of a strange opening. I think more common for white is taking here. And then I was ready to play this move on Lichess. Yeah, fe4 is slightly more common. I was going to play this move pawn e5. The idea is after takes. If king takes, there's this move. If knight takes, there's this move. So let's go back to tournament. Yeah, I was saying I do want to stream like some coverage of the World Championship, but I don't think I'll be awake enough. So I'll probably just watch. Playing TheCheesemate. Never played before. Let's play in English. I feel like we're going to see some English openings. At least from Ding. Okay, King's Indian. Maybe Grunfeld. Mm. Let's keep it as in English. I was tempted to go into like some main lines. But maybe we'll go into like symmetrical English. Could play e3 or d3 or e3. There's also d4. I'll play e3. This is more of a system-based opening. Like when I was first learning English as a small child, I vividly remember just looking at the setup, thinking it looks weird, but there's also some interesting harmony. Like white has good control over d5 in many cases. And there's ideas of d4 and expanding. Oh, with d4 make it a Catalan. Catalan is usually when the black pawn is committed to d5. So I think if I played d4, it would be a more standard.
Still one of my favorite chess
Whatchamacallit. Oh, thank you, SS Bioder. Appreciate that. I think there's a name called the fianchetto variation. So if d4 would be the fianchetto variation or fianchetto variation of the King's Indian. Just building some solid construction. So far, I just kind of feel like an architect, trying to make sure there's no holes in my creation. Now, this is an interesting moment because I have a few options. Like I could start with taking. Allows knight g4 though. Oh, but then queen d6. And there's also takes bishop a3. I'm tempted to go for this bishop a3 idea. But I'm also looking at bishop a3 immediately. Yeah, maybe I'll play bishop a3 immediately. It's like the one kind of soft spot in black's position is d6 pawn. Or in some cases, if takes, it's a d6 square. And there's also ideas like in the event of trading, there's this positional idea knight a4, like going into b6 or knight c5 ideas. So trying to exert some pressure on the queen side. I am Rosen fan says, I struggle with d4 openings except the London. They don't feel intuitive for me at all. I could maybe try and help with that. I'm curious, like, what you're playing, or if you have any, like, set repertoire that you're trying to play. I have been working on I've been mentioning this a bit more recently, but I'm working on a repertoire course against e4. And very likely, I think I'll try and release it to a handful of people to then get feedback and see just how it can be improved or optimized to fit the target audience. I hear some sounds. I think it's raining. Is it raining? It might be raining right now. Okay, rook e8's logical. Um, rook e8 could also lose the tempo, like take, 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 and then knight a4. If I play knight a4 too soon, maybe it's playable. b5, I just take it, and there's this pin. Hmm. I guess knight a4 could walk into pawn e4. I'm trying to make it so black can't respond with knight d7 because of this move. I guess pawn e4, there's knight f4. Let's play knight a4. Wasn't my first impression, but looks like it causes some like annoyance for black. I'm Rosen fan says I play London or sharp e4 gambits. Yeah, the repertoire I'm working on is a more dynamic, like sharper repertoire. It's supposed to be trappy, but also like reputable, like not too dubious. Knight a6. That's a move. Knight b4 might be coming. Okay, so what's happening after takes knight c5? I guess we trade. Yeah, knight a6 is a good move, which I kind of forgot about. If I play this, take. Let's play this. It's getting spicy. There's a lot of pawn tension now. I mean, I'm trying to destabilize black center pawns. But, I mean, this could lead to a lot of trades. So if takes, I think I take with knight. If takes that way, I can take it this way. Yeah, but knight d7. I mean, I could take on c5 with a knight too. I initially wanted to take, but I forgot about knight d7. Yeah, let's go this way. So, some fair trades. Still some pawn tension. If black takes, I take with knight. Bishop is hit. Or actually, if takes, I take here first. So we might see like takes, 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 takes. Have to watch my time just a little bit. Still 97. Okay, I'll move back. It's a staring contest between the pawns. I don't need reputable, I just need stinky cheese to beat my coworkers. England Gambit might be your stinky cheese. A4. Black's finding some good moves. I have to be careful. Bishop b2. The queen b6 is coming. What about d5? And maybe d5. If ever it takes, I take back and defend the bishop. There are e4 ideas, so I have to be a bit careful. But generally, e4 I think is met with this. Yeah, I don't think white's better here. Still, a lot can change in the next few moves. I'm a little bit concerned about my light squares. I'm trying to calculate like takes, e4, rook b1, and then if black goes for knight e5, looking to play knight f3 check, I think I can take. I don't think there's any like dangers with the discovery. But there's a lot of things black can do to like mix up the move order. Like there's takes, e4. I think we'll probably see one of these moves. Okay, b7 is a bit tender. Yeah, last few moves have been pretty forced. So I was just calculating this line. Knight e5 takes, which I think is okay for white. And if takes, I take with rook. Keep the bishop defended. And maybe it's pleasant for white. A bit more active. Bishop is piercing through. Queen is very nicely centralized. Pawn could be a weakness. Like the squares around my king are a bit airy, but it's hard for black to actually exploit them. And time is now on my side. Yeah, this is the point of the game where I pretty much stop looking at chat and focus on the chess. Unless you sub. Thank you, Doof. Appreciate the sub. Okay, up over a minute now. Rook e5 I forgot about. How dangerous is this? If I take... I probably should go for taking. The queen's not getting trapped. Gets kicked around a little bit. Rook b8, queen a6. It goes back, queen c4. Now the queen is tied down to the knight. There's no knight e5. Queen c6 perhaps? Get a more centralized square. Threatening rook d1. Yeah, black would really love to play knight e5 and get into f3 or put a queen here and knight here. But it's hard to do. If black goes for this idea, I'd have knight f4. But it's still tricky. If I take, there's this move here and then here. Queen e7? But there's bishop f8. So what about queen d5? Or maybe queen c4? No. Queen c4 runs into knight e5. So let's start with this. And then if rook e5, then I play queen c4. And there's no knight e5. So I essentially won the pawn and moved back. Black out in this move, which I'm not sure how useful it is. I'm realizing there's cases where I play knight d4 and just get initiative. If ever bishop takes, I take with queen. Might see this move. I still not take. I still can't take. Wow. And queen's a little bit stuck. I could play queen d4. Staring in the face of danger. Queen b4 doesn't work. I think this is playable though. Unless I messed up. I think I messed up. But maybe not. But maybe. But maybe not. Here. Takes bishop d6. Gets very murky. Oh, wait a minute. I have queen e4, though. It's still very murky. Rook b3. Yeah, I think I have to take on e4. There's also some crazy... Oh, it doesn't work. Okay, let's take here. I think I'm losing a piece at the end of this. But I'm probably winning at time, winning on time at the very end. Or no, I'm winning material now. Yeah, black had queen e8. Okay, very fortunate to come out alive here. Still be careful. Okay, up a clean pawn. This is a very tricky game. Okay. Yeah, I could have been very close to losing. I probably should have been losing. I think once black played this move, like I might already be worse. Engine says it's equal. Queen d4 only move. I didn't play it because it looked too scary. But after this, yeah, rook a5 and... Oh, this is still okay. Oh, I missed queen d7. Queen d7's the only move, too. Ah, it's so findable. I was in pure defensive mode. I was even considering rook d1, though. But queen d7, that's so nice. Takes and then here, and then probably take with bishop. And the king is stuck. Bishop e4 is a threat. Here, there's this. Okay, that was a crazy game. So I was worse at multiple points. I was better at multiple points. Overall, I liked the opening. Knight a4 was not a good move. Yeah, d5 is a bit more principled.
Lucky 32.
Happy 32. Accent from Florida. Yeah, I went a long time without looking at chat. There was a question from Poppy Woppy. Does Eric see all messages or just certain ones? Only your messages. I'm a very slow reader, so sometimes I'll overlook things. But there's also cases where there will be questions during a game that like I'll see, but it's not worth taking the time to answer. If I try to address everything, I'd be going on continual tangents. But I do my best to answer things that will give others value. Oh, so a new tournament started. Let's join this tournament. Maybe I'll play Nate Brady again. Okay, staying with Rapid Chess. Inching my way back to at least closer to 2600. Okay, playing Leo. Thank you, Chess Knight. Have your first tournament in a week and asking for advice. Have fun. Your first tournament, there should be no expectations. Like, try and learn something from every game. Make sure you're familiar with like tournament etiquette and taking notation, using a physical chess clock. But yeah, just enjoy yourself. Try and get sleep beforehand. All right, let's transpose into probably Taimanov or whatever this is. Oh, we could transpose into a Sveshnikov. I'll play a3, preventing the lines with bishop e4. Bishop c5. Yeah, I'm going into slightly lesser known territory, at least for myself. But it looks playable. Debating between bishop d3 and bishop e2. Play bishop d3. Might be a case where I put the bishop on g5. Also f4. Okay, let's play f4. Like already some ideas of pawn e5. And there's a few moves that I'd like to get in bishop e3, queen f3, king h1. It is a question what to start with. King h1 seems very flexible. Just getting off this diagonal. Now bishop e3. I'm hesitant to play queen f3 because I don't like the queen aligned with black's bishop. But I guess in many cases I end up going to g3 or h3. So it shouldn't be an issue. Black is keeping me guessing. Which way is the king going to castle? Maybe it stays in the center. But I think I've managed to get a very harmonious setup. Like full development. Rook's probably ready to come to e1. And then gradually I can start looking for like e5 or f5 ideas. Oh, thanks earlier to Wasted and Wounded, the first time Prime. I'm glad you're not wasted or wounded enough to sub. I see the discussion about comparing FIDE and US and online ratings. It can be very difficult to compare them, just because FIDE ratings reflect classical play, and online rapid or blitz are much different compared to slow over the board chess. B4 is very logical. I mean, this move comes to mind. Knight d5 takes knight d8. If I take here, and there's also knight e2. Yeah, I don't think the knight d5 sack works as much as I want to make it happen. If I take here, I lose the bishop pair. And this move looks ugly, but maybe it's justified. And takes knight a5. Okay, I think I'll go for this in queen g3. So getting off the diagonal, pressuring the pawn, allowing takes, but then I take, and then e4 is defended. How did it feel when Carlsen trash talked me? I felt emotionally broken. It took months to recover. No, it was okay. I'm not used to getting trash talked by the world champion, but I'm pretty soon he won't be world champion because maybe yeah, we're living like the final 24 hours or the final hours of Magnus being world champion. There was a funny tweet because there were like previous FIDE rules that if the world championship match is tied, then the reigning world champion is declared the winner. So it'd be funny if Nepo and Ding somehow draw the match, then Magnus just stays world champion. Unlikely though. Yeah, from Plichta. Shout out to Camille. Rook g8. So black's not castling. Both rooks have moved. What is this? The center's closed, so I mean I really want to get one of these breaks in. E5 is super double-edged. Probably calls for calculation. E5 takes. E5 there's also takes. Hmm. I'm leaning towards queen h3. I think I'll just play it. Useful square. The knight's now tied down. It no longer has access to the square. E6 could come under fire. Like if I play f5, I'm already threatening to win the pawn. I probably don't want to go for g4 because it just opens the diagonal too much. H6. Wow. It's getting more spicy. So e5 or bishop d4. I think bishop d4. Kind of inducing e5. I'll probably lose time. I'll have to move the bishop again. Or not. Okay, let's play bishop g1. That way I'm getting out of the way of the rooks. It's actually one of the benefits of king h1. Bishop can be a nice piece, acting as a sniper. Black wants a draw. Now e5 and the rook supporting the pawn. And there's knight d5. And then maybe f5. And I'm subjecting myself to a little bit of pain on this diagonal, but I mean, there's a lot of alignment happening in this position. I'm daydreaming of like takes, and bishop g6, which probably not worth sacking the queen for a check. but it's just food for thought. And black can take or leave the tension and move the knight. If the tension's left, then f5 is really interesting. Just going full like attack mode. And then the files are guaranteed to open. So 97. Yeah, queen e6 doesn't work. Bishop g6 on the other hand. How crazy would that be? And there's also this move, bishop h7. I really want to play bishop g6. Take, take. It's just, it's not a very practical decision, but it looks like a fun decision. I think I'll just do it. If I lose the game, at least I'll have a story to tell. So the idea, first of all, I'm preventing this. Wow, black is scared to take it. Now, do I go all in? Like sack and f5. I think I just go all in. And it's purely intuitive. Like I'm thinking 2 moves ahead. My calculation ends after f5. But I do see ideas of drawing arrows. Like the pawns are guaranteed to be traded, which means the file will open, diagonals will open. The only thing I have to be watchful of is a g2 pawn. Like queen c6 ideas. Okay, I'm down 2 minutes on the clock. But we might see black take a lot of time here. Okay. So if I take here first. Queen supports the pawn. This is like almost working, but not quite. Knight c2 is just met with rook e2, I think. Oh, that's a simple move that I kind of forgot about. Queen f5. Threatening this and winning the rook. I mean, g2 looks more tender now, but I guess there is takes and this. I win back the piece. Okay. Queen check. Looks risky. At this point, everything is risky. I have this move. I like this move. Supported by the bishop. I'm just realizing my queen defends the c-pawn. Knight now adds reinforcement to e6. There's ideas of this. Maybe also 94. A crazy position. I hope this game fits the theme of instructive and destructive. Things are about to be destroyed. Maybe for both of us. I don't know what my threat is. Like, what do I want to do next move? Maybe I'm threatening this. Hitting the knight and threatening this because the pawn would be pinned. Could I have done that last move? I guess last move there would be maybe knight c2. But yeah, I could have considered queen g4 that last move. Oh, there's also queen h5 here and then here. I think I'll do this. It's a bit more forcing. What is black considering? King d8, rook d1. Looks devastating. Really? How does black stop the check? King e7, queen f7, checkmate. If any other piece blocks, I'm winning something. And d5 and d7 are in my control. Okay, looks like the sack is paying off. Yeah, I don't usually play the open Sicilian. But when I do, crazy things happen. Yeah, we've entered the destructive part of the game. Okay. That was a cool game. I'm not sure how sound bishop g6 was. Hey, 100% accuracy. At least based off the final, like, 3 moves. I'd imagine black was better at some point in this game, objectively. Oh, Cormac O'Bear has the same... Oh, has a hoodie. Yeah, this is a Lichess merch. Shout out to Lichess. If you want your own merch. I think they call it swag. Lichess.org/swag. Okay, let's just check with engine real quick. So there's no games in Masters database. Bishop c5 is dubious due to this line. bc6 e5. Okay, I should know that. Oh, wow. Oh, so my sack, I think, was okay, according to the engine. I was feeling a little bit uncomfortable here. Engine says f5. Yeah, rook g8 maybe wasn't the best decision. Engine really likes e5 here, but I saved the bishop first. And then e5. Hey, bishop g6 is among the top move, or the top move. Yeah, I mean, the point was, I don't think the bishop can be taken, because takes, and then I'm threatening this and this. So we saw this. And then, okay, maybe I didn't follow through correctly. I took on f7. Engine really likes this, or f5. Man. But it's still better for white. Okay, that was a cool game. So my one blunder was bishop g1. Missing the opportunity of e5. All right, back to tournament. That was the first game of this tournament. Oh, good night to Matt. Thanks for stopping by. Playing ttrv. I'm trying to mix up the openings. I'll play d4. We'll see what we get. Gotta have at least one lunge in this stream. Yeah, this is my bread and butter. Knight c3. So the two main options are d6 and d5. d6 I'm usually a bit happier to see, because now we're entering a Pierce where white can get a very quick attack. And I don't think this is Jobava London anymore. But it's of course something that can come from Jobava London repertoire. But the ideas are very direct, like queen d2, flat castles, I'll have bishop h6 and h4, h5.
Eric, you're playing
Oh,
me,
no way.
smile.
Oh, I'm playing Trevlar. Oh, what's up, Trevlar? Oh, good luck. Trevlar is a creator of Rosen score. We've never played before. Oh, wow. Yeah, big shout out to Trevlar. He's also made some like other cool chess related applications. I see rated just over 2000 in chess, but probably like grandmaster level programmer. Yeah, I gotta check Travelar's Rosen score after this. So this is a position I've had many, many times before. And there's different branches for black. There's this, there's this, there's this. Sometimes see this move. A lot of players delay castling, which might be like the more appropriate response. All right, what's the move here? I looked at this line like not too long ago. I had a game against Darius Weirtz entitled Tuesday, and he played something similar. I didn't handle it correctly. I think I'm supposed to play this move. And one of the issues for black is it's not that easy to get an e5. Like e5 right away runs into takes, takes, and I take. I eventually win the pawn. Okay, so a6. a6 is actually kind of clever. Because one of the moves I wanted to play was bishop b5. And get rid of the knight. If I play bishop h6 now, then there's e5. And maybe we trade knight e2. All right, let's go for this. Yeah, the ultimate goal would be to get a Rosen trophy for this game. But what's the most likely Rosen trophy? Checkmating with pawn. Oh no, my queen. Hopefully not a stalemate trick. b5. Okay, b4 might be coming. I think I'll just continue with my plan. Pawn h4. b4, I'll play knight ce2. does look a little bit weird to move this knight to e2, blocking these pieces. But the plan is just to like go for the quick attack. Oh no. North Carolina Dan says my 8-year-old daughter plays Beach Cafe opening on Chess Kid. What have I done? Yeah, don't. I always need the disclaimer. If there's any small children watching, don't try those things at home. Play something appropriate. Follow principles. Yeah, Beach Cafe, I think for me it was one and done. Maybe I played it twice. What was this game? This game doesn't spell anything fun. All right, pawn h5. So it is kind of an attacking race. Black's trying to pawn storm on the queen side. I'm pawn storming on the king side. There's not too many defensive resources for black. Okay, that's a move. So now this is where calculation will come into play. I don't think it matters what I start with. I might as well start with this. The idea is now I've opened the H file. Whatever it takes back, I'll take the bishop, I'll throw in the check, and then I'm banking on e5 in the very end. And I think the tactics will flow really nicely for whites. The problem is the knight is now tied down to defending h7. Like, regardless of where the king moves, e5 happens. And if takes, I take back and the queen is hit. And knight d5 would abandon h7. I am one move away from connect 4, but yeah, pawn e5 is way more attractive than pawn d5. Oh, what is Beach Cafe? Well, it's when you move the B pawn and then the E pawn and then the A pawn and you spell beach and then you go on to spell cafe. And then maybe later you can spell headache. Not sure if the Beach Cafe headache opening has ever been attempted. How many letters is that? 5 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 again. That's 17 pawn moves. Okay. Knight g8. Ooh. I'm getting closer. Oh, there's a pawn mate. Okay. Oh no, there's not a pawn mate. There's almost a pawn mate. For some reason I was looking at this, and then this, but it's not mate. Play this move. And g6 is very hard to cover. So I'm basically debating between this and this. Like this and then queen b8. And somehow black stays alive, maybe? But maybe not. I think I'll play this. Because there's no good way to defend g6. I'm preventing the king from running. And or hiding. I'm threatening mate in 2. Yeah, I don't know if we'll see any Rosen trophies this game. Because after takes, I'm not mating with pawn. Unless I can under promote with knight with checkmate. It's one of the more difficult trophies to achieve. Oh, can we get an oh no my queen? Queen g8. I think that would count as a Rosen trophy. A difficult position for black. The attack kind of stalled. King c8. All right. We'll trade down a little bit. Yeah, the king found safety somehow. But I'm up a knight and 2 pawns. So life is pretty good. Play this move. I think the plan now is to play f4, g4, bishop g2. Just get one more attacker against a knight. Okay, maybe g3. Keep the pawn solid. Yeah, no mercy here. So bishop b5 is the only way to defend, but now I have c4. And if en passant, I take with knight. And then there's just too much pressure. If bishop a4, b3. Ooh. Okay, knight's still pinned. There is still potential for en passant checkmate. Like e5, or if I put the pawn in d5, and then somehow provoke e5. So many dreams. Play this first. Block the queen. But how to actually make it happen? I need to get the knight to c6. And then play bishop h... Or no. How will I make it happen? It's hard to even
Yakshana
conceptualize.
Sherik would love to see an en passant mate.
Okay, I'll try and deliver. There's two potential en passants. Maybe even a third potential en passant. But if I have maiden one, I probably just go for maiden one. And keep life simple. Check. We're getting closer though. We're getting very close. Do it, do it, do it. Win connect 4. Attack my knight. Oh, it's becoming possible. I know I missed bishop h3. I don't know if Traveler is watching though. Oh, maybe he's not watching. Oh, I'm so sad. Oh, where's my en passant checkmate? How do I even like provoke it? I'll give one more chance. Do it, do it, do it. Play c5. I just want my Rosen trophy. Yes! En passant checkmate. Okay. Oh, what a finish to the game. Thanks for the game, Traveler. Yeah, maybe there were slightly more efficient ways to win. But yeah, this is like the third or fourth time in my life with en passant
This
checkmate.
is why I sub.
Thanks for subbing. So now, if we go to rosenscore.com, big shout out to Traveler who like implemented this whole site. You can now search on chess.com as well as Lichess. And now I have a nice shortcut. And we'll do last 6 hours. And look at this. Hey, I got 2 Rosen trophies for that because I also checkmated with a pawn. Okay. And yeah, when we click into it, we can see the game. Now, what if I do lifetime? Forever. Uh-oh. Oh, that was quick. So I have just over 1,200 Rosen trophies. And I'm still missing, I'm missing 2 categories. I've never done the 2 bishop mate or the knight cube mate. What's a knight cube mate? Oh, this is the knight cube checkmate. Okay, still some bucket list items to cross off. Anyway, that was fun. I'll probably put this game on YouTube. It has to be YouTube ready. If you made it this far, let me know in the comments what your Rosen score is on Lichess or chess.com. Let me know if you've maybe passed 1,200. And stay tuned for hopefully more Rosen trophies. Oh, how do you checkmate with a king? Yeah, with every category you can see an example. Where's a king checkmate? I've done this actually a good handful of times. This is how you checkmate with a king. King f3 checkmate. Yeah, someday I'll have to like go through all my archives of all my streams and like compile. It'd be cool to compile like all these games in a single video. Like checkmating 30 players with just my king. Block a check with checkmates. Ooh. Did this against Adfast. Oh, this was a fun one. King G1 check, knight F3 checkmate. This is also double checkmate. What's my chess.com Rosen score? I think it's far less than Lee Chess. Maybe a few hundred. I think 300 or 400. What's the significance of G5? G5 is its own emote. There used to be a few viewers that would like cheer bits every time I played G5. But this was years ago. Okay, back to tournament. Oops. What did I do? Too many tabs open. Back to tournament. Thank you, Gabriel. Subbing for 3 months in advance. Okay, I don't think I'm trying to win the tournament. The leader has 25 points. Oh, smothered pork checkmate. Uh, yeah, feel free. I encourage people to maybe play around with the site, look into the example ones.
G5. It's an old meme, but it checks out.
It checks out. Yeah, no pawn intended. All right, let's play d5. There's someone in chat. I think it was I am Rosen fan earlier. They were saying how they're struggling against d4, except when it comes to London. And I am working on like a whole repertoire for intermediate players. And the line I'm working on is actually this one, the Barmen variation. Now this could transpose into Cambridge Springs. Although after the trade on d5, it's kind of its own thing. Cambridge Springs is when white plays bishop g5, c6, e3, queen a5. But in this position, it really no longer makes sense to put the queen here because there's no possibility of the rank opening. So I'm going to go for a different approach here, which is still very aggressive and very dynamic, is to play pawn g5 and then knight h5, just getting the bishop pair. And it's a line I discovered not too long ago, but it's super interesting. I think Carlsen played this at least once, maybe twice. And it looks a little bit delicate for black on the king side, but everything's well defended. And there's cases where I castle queenside. I think the general rule is whichever way white castles, I'll castle as well. So if white castles queenside, I'll also castle queenside. I think the main move here is queen c2. At least the most flexible move. Queen e2. Queen e2 can signify that e4 might be coming. I don't think I'm too afraid. I'll still play knight b6. This is usually the go-to square for the knight. And the setup is bishop e6, queen e7. Just very solid. Some cases the knight lands on c4, then maneuvers back to d6. And I'm not too afraid of e4 just because I have the bishop pair. Bishops would actually like if the position opens. So knight d2. I'm debating between this and this. Bishop e6. Although bishop e6, there's knight b3, knight c5. I think I just allow it. Now if e4, the d pawn would be hanging. Yeah, this is already like slightly new territory for me, but I'm still familiar with the structure. I think it's very likely that I'll allow the trade of knight takes e6. Although knight d7 maybe has some merit to it. There's still knight c4 as well. I'll play queen e7 first. Hey, it's Nate Brady. When I initially joined this rapid tournament, I saw Nate was also streaming it. I thought maybe there's a chance we would play. I hope you had a good stream. Shout out to Nate. If you're just joining, this is my... I've already lost count. 4th, 5th, maybe 6th game of the stream. I've played a handful of games. I've had some fun games so far. Considering this move, knight c4, and then after takes, pawn looks a little bit loose, but it's supported by the bishop, and if takes, it's supported by the queen. Let's go for it. I'm also trying to stay flexible, because I still don't know which way I want to castle. I'm enabling b6. Also might have ideas of knight d6.
Smile.
I appreciate the smile. Oh, I played your friends. Oh yeah, TheCheesemate. I think TheCheesemate actually gifted me a sub on your channel. I forgot about that. Yeah, we had a fun game. I played Trevlar as well. Had an en passant checkmate against Trevlar. It was a fun game. Okay. So it's getting imbalanced. I now have half a bishop pair. But my opponent has 0% of a bishop pair. And generally, when you have a single bishop, that means you should put your pawns on opposite color of that bishop. So already like good placement of these pawns. It's a rule because it helps maximize square control. Pawns will control light squares, bishop controls dark squares. Might go for f5 at some point. I guess Traveler is responsible for my Rosen score in many ways. But I did, yeah, I got 2 Rosen trophies for the en passant mate and the pawn checkmate. Thank you, GT or JTG, the prime sub for 2 months. Okay, pawn g4. So if I play pawn b5, I think it's a move that I almost always play eventually, so I might as well play it now. And then staying flexible. I'm realizing the king is pretty safe on the king side. Like despite white having the half-open file, f3 signifies we might see king f2, but I think now it's time to castle. Because I want to get the rooks into play. And even though I don't have any center pawns, I have two half-open center files. Play f5 here. Looks attractive. Yeah, and once I get the rook to e8, there's going to be a lot of pressure. Knight c5 is a move. I have to be careful not to get forked. Maybe queen d6, eyeing the g3 square. Like rook e8 not only pressures the e pawn, but also pins a pawn. So there'd be ideas of taking on d4. Oh, you got a Rosen trophy for stalemating from a winning position. Yeah, the stalemate trick maybe went in the opposite direction. Would there have been any merit to routing your bishop to the other side of the board prior to castling? Which bishop? Oh, like this bishop, like here and here. Um, Probably, yeah, almost certainly not, because the bishop plays a key role in defending h6 and just also defending the area of the king side. So it's one of these pieces I don't need um, to maneuver much. So White Castle's queenside. Hmm. Yeah, move like f4. F4, like I want to calculate this, but it just seems a bit too shaky. So I think more solid is to take and then play rook e8. Like generally this would be a really nice outpost square for the knight, but I'm kind of just playing around it. And for the time being, the knight is kind of just like a decoration. Like it looks nice, but it's not serving too much like value for white. Can you take the pawn with the bishop and pin the queen to the king? Not sure. Oh, like here, but yeah, I don't think there is a moment to take the pawn. But there are cases where I might be threatening to take the pawn. But even if I am, it just looks really risky, like tactically, because I open the d file for white. Like, sometimes you have to be careful, like grabbing material. Always have to think about the consequences for your decisions. Queen d2, so there's no more pin on the e file. But okay, these pawns are all kind of weak. And I mean, the way to try and exploit all of them is queen g3, which looks nice. like creating a pawn queen sandwich. What are my predictions for the playoffs? I don't know. It's hard to predict anything. If I were to make one prediction, I would think it goes to Blitz. Although, just because it's been so back and forth, like even if one player has a lead in the rapid, I think the other player will strike back. And yeah, I've always thought like Nepo is like the stronger rapid and blitz player, but Ding is also crazy strong. Like he bit he did beat Magnus in the Sinkfield playoff like a few years ago. Okay, what is 97? This decoration is trying to hurt me. I have rook f2. Hitting the queen. Yeah, white's position is about to crumble. Actually, the king is going to be very unsafe. Like once this pawn falls, bishop will have more scope. A major piece is coming in. I think I'm winning. I'm just winning a lot of things. Queen's attacked, rook's attacked. If the queen moves here, I don't take the rook because then I lose my own rook. But I would have taken the pawn. Okay, I've conceded the bishop. Hmm. It's actually a little bit tricky. If I play this, I get mated in one. Oh, that would be tragic. So I guess I have to play this. White will take. And then, as long as I don't get mated, hopefully it's okay. Wait a minute. Let's not mindlessly check. Let's actually calculate. Even though I am kind of winning on time, probably a good calculation exercise. Check b4. Where's my mate? Maybe this move. Oh, this looks nice. Because king d4, it's mate in one. King c2, the rook comes in. Also force mate. And if rook here, then something like b4. Okay. That was a pleasant game. I don't think I've had a chance to play this line too often. It doesn't come up too much with this exact move order of knight bd7. Because the only time that, like, if you play this as black, the only time you really get it is from this position. White takes and plays bishop g5. maybe there could be transpositions from other lines, but um, it's the one time where h6 g5 is justified because the knight blocks queen from controlling h5, and yeah, if bishop e5, I think black can just take and be okay. So we went into like the main position. Would you stream any other game besides chess and Scrabble? What games do people want to see? I've done duck chess. I guess that's a subcategory of chess, though. Oh, good game to Satoru. I guess who I just played goes by Suzuki. Yeah, this was an interesting idea. That I'm curious to see what the engine thinks. But maybe it wasn't worth the time. Well, maybe it was. Like White's actually doing okay here. Takes, but it was imbalanced. Yeah, things kind of started crumbling. Maybe, yeah, starting with castle and queenside. Although White has to be very, very careful. Engine likes taking and then knight goes back. Just the center is a bit delicate. Yeah, some of these games I haven't heard of. I've heard of GeoGuessr. Cracking the Cryptic, I don't think I've heard of. I've never played Minecraft. I don't even know how to play. Is there like I don't know if it's a website or you have to download something. One thing I was thinking about streaming that could be like interesting and potentially interactive with chat is a crossword puzzle, like New York Times or Washington Post crossword, like kind of mix pop culture and kind of a word game. Because I do them in my free time. I've just never streamed one. But then sometimes the issue is, yeah, people just Google the answers. It kills the fun. Okay, 41 minutes. So played 3 games this tournament. Trying to make every game like instructive and fun. I mean, the en passant game was probably the highlight. The other 2 games were pleasant too. Playing chessperson. So I played the London. I played this. Let's go back to e4. Did Chess Life do a crossword puzzle? Be interesting to have a chess themed crossword. Oh, my previous opponent is asking, what do you think of my level? I started playing chess in October 2022. That's actually impressive. If you started playing chess less than a year ago, and you played like a solid game, like the game wasn't determined by an obvious blunder. Like it took work to actually convert the edge. So yeah, keep it up. I mean, if I had to put a rating, I'd say maybe you were a little bit underrated that game. So we have a Grand Prix attack. This is somewhat resembling Rosalimo. with the trade on c6. But usually in Rissalima, the pawn's on f2. With the pawn on f4, it's much easier for white to create some attack. Eventual f5 ideas. Oh, thank you, Andrew. Gifting to Satoru. Goodbye to I'm Rosen fan. Do I ever play the Czech Pirts? I've heard of the Czech Benoni. I don't know if I know what the Czech Pirts is. Hey, thank you, Fen Beingold. We had the real Ben Feingold here and the real Karen here earlier. But thank you, Mr. Beingold. Gifting to Danny. Any suggestions for improving rating that has been stagnant around 1800 for a while? Yeah, really at any level, like your rating will plateau or at least slow down growth at some point. The first thing is not to become too fixated on your rating. Like the rating will fluctuate. And the most important thing is that you're having a learning mindset, like you're trying to improve from every game. And generally, your overall chess improvement won't exactly correlate with your rating. Like you can become a lot better at chess if you have a passion for learning, if you're analyzing every game that you play. And it can take a while for your rating to actually catch up to your actual ability. So you want to do things that will benefit you long term. Um, if you plateaued for like a long time, sometimes what can help is to like change up your opening repertoire even a little bit. Like if you're an e4 player, you could still play e4 lines, but maybe mix things up in like the more specific variations, just to get a sense of like new types of positions. And that will sometimes allow you to just grow as a player a bit more quickly. And that's what helped me. Like I plateaued, I think around like 1900 or 2000 for a bit. And then at some point, I switched from playing e4 for many years to playing c4. I started playing c4 having like no knowledge, but it exposed me to just so many new ideas that translated not just to like opening play, but to like later middle game play and different middle game structures. And it made me a bit more versatile. c4, interesting. I want to play d4, but then b4 knight moves and I lose a pawn. Considering pawn e5, that gives away the d5 square. Also considering this move, which I think I like the most, improving the rook. But yeah, switching openings can sometimes take a lot of time and patience. And sometimes when you initially make the switch, you'll be more likely to lose your games or get worse positions because you're just less comfortable and maybe outside your comfort zone. But that's what leads to growth. Not just in chess, but any area of life. Sometimes going outside your comfort zone and trying new things. I still want to take b4 here. There's a line where I get triple pawns. Takes, 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 takes. Considering queen h4, just the standard idea of attacking. I need to stretch more.
Thanks for the content, brother. GG's.
Thank you, Birds Philly. Just realized I've been sitting like stationary for last over 2 hours. All right, let's play Queen H4. Thank you to Andrew, gifting to Tiger Chuff. Also gifting to Accidental Novelty. Did you start out as a more aggressive player or more positional? Probably a little bit more aggressive. Although, not sure if I would categorize my play as like aggressive or positional. One of the issues I had when I was like rated 1600 and below, I would play very passively. I would just like curl up into a ball. I had this like roly-poly type style that and I gradually was able to overcome. And it got me to actually a decent ability. Like I was able to beat a lot of players just by being very solid and sometimes overly passive, and I just wait for opportunities for my opponent to blunder. But like gradually I learned how to kind of react to different situations. And especially when I was 1600, I had the issue of like not fully grasping positional play and just putting my pieces on bad squares. And I worked with a coach, Grandmaster Dmitry Gurevich. He was one of my longtime coaches who helped me overcome kind of the deficiencies in my positional play. Studied a lot of Karpov games and Smyslov games. And Bishop a6 is a very logical move. But there is a threat of knight e4. I think I'll play rook d2. Defend the knight, prepare this. My attack is a little bit slow, but I feel like I need to reinforce the center. Yeah, I'm. When I say my level was 1600, I'm referring to when I was like 10 years old. This was back in around, I think, 2004. So it was a long time ago. It was back in the day that I didn't play on Lichess. It was many years before the beginnings of Lichess. And it was also before I was playing on chess.com. It was in the days of ICC. And there were a few other sites too, like World Chess Club or World Chess Network, maybe. There's also US Chess Live. Does this work? Oh, wow. I was aware of this move, but I didn't think it worked, but maybe it does work. I guess it does work. That's actually a very strong move. Now I have to probably just try and cut my losses. It takes. Wow. Like this could easily snowball. Just downward spiral. What to do? A7 hangs in the very end, but then B2 hangs. Hmm. I think I have to take the knight. I'm looking for... Actually, I have this move too. This is my other option. I think all the other lines look terrible for me, but knight g5... I lose a pawn, but at least I keep pieces on the board. I have to use the clock as a weapon. It's not pretty though. I mean, d3 is still weak. Black has a bishop pair. Half open d-file. I want to play b3, but b3 allows bishop c3. Maybe queen e4? Ah, but then bishop e7 is coming. Maybe it's okay. Play queen g4. The c-pawn could be a target if I can shift over. Yeah, that way I keep g2 covered. There's less pressure on d3 now. And c-pawn's actually not the easiest to defend. I guess there's this move. Knight f4? Not sure how much knight f4 helps me, but might as well. And pawn d4 may be coming. I have this move as well. Some weird lines. I'm calculating rook f5, bishop g7, king g7, knight h5. King goes back, knight g3. Rook e5, knight e4. If I get the knight to e4, then it blocks the diagonal and pressure c5. I have a lot of defense on g2 as well.
It's nice to catch a live stream. Thank for being a great
Hey, it's
and
Hark here.
generous instructor.
Oh, thanks so much. Welcome back. Yeah, if you're just joining, I had a pleasant position earlier, but then I hung a pawn. Opponent found a really strong tactic. I'm trying to just survive here. A rook's coming in here. I think I'll play this first, just so the queen's
Now
not tied
the
down to
ICC
g5.
won't let me be, or let me be me, so let me see.
Oh dear.
They're trying to shut me down on Chess
And this
TV,
move?
but it feels so empty without me.
I'm not sure if I caught what was just said there. I don't think I can... I want to take here, but the problem is takes, and g2 is just too vulnerable. I'm missing tactics and my opponent is finding the tactics. It's not a good combination. I'll play rook f2. He's keeping this pawn defended. So now I'm down 2 pawns. But I'm up a minute. And some dream of playing h5, h6. And then queen g7. Wait a minute, can I take here? Winning back a pawn. Have to be really careful. I don't think it works because rook d1. Rook d1, rook f1. But playing moves like this is so risky. I think it's okay. Wait a minute, I just dropped a knight. What am I doing? I just dropped a knight. Oh no, my blunder. Just completely collapsed here. I still have some hope. Small ounces of hope. Wait, is this rook trapped? Where's the rook go? Oh, it moves there. Now I have this. No, I don't have this move. My rook's hanging. Just have to stop blundering. There. And this move first. A light squared bishop can't touch any of these things. But it can blockade things. I have this move. And this first. Uh-oh. Don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. Actually, please play rook c1. Rook c1, it's made in 2. Check. I could have gotten another Rosen trophy for the pawn mate. Okay. Yeah, I gave away a few too many pawns. And a knight. Black played well. Although, yeah, the position around here was good. Rook d1 was too passive. Just as I was talking about all the mistakes I had growing up with playing too passively. Although this was a tactical mistake. Yeah, 94 was a good find. Yeah, the one blunder from my opponent. Okay. Well, we'll move on. It's definitely the closest game I've had so far. I'm 2 points away from 2600. Playing Paracelline in first place. Okay, going back to d4. Just want a solid London opening. Okay, we have a main line. This is a main line. And bishop b5, it's a secondary move. Knight e7, bishop d3. So to explain this, wait, knight g6. Remember there was a game between Kamsky and Rufang Li that I think went along these lines. And I'm pretty sure the move here is knight e5 to allow for f4 and get some kind of stonewall setup. There's that move. Now we're getting some transformation. f4, f6, queen here. Yeah, let's play pawn f4. It looks a little bit ugly because this bishop is now just staring into a pawn. I mean, I was imagining queen h5, takes. Not sure how strong this actually is, though. I guess I could play queen h5, and if takes, I just take back. That seems to be the move to start with. It's a defensive move, but also, of course, an aggressive move. And yeah, with f5 now I can more gradually try and build things up. Now black does have an idea here to play this and then this, attacking both pawns. So I'm thinking c4 or queen e2 or bishop f2. Maybe bishop f2 is the most useful. Like that way, this allows the g-pawn to advance. And I want to keep the queen like applying pressure. And now if c4, bishop c2, queen b6, I would have rook b1. Okay, that's a very tricky move. Because black does have a threat of takes, and then takes. I mean, g4 would actually like solve that issue. G4. I think I go for g4. It defends the queen. And pressures this pawn. When does Eric play viewers? I'm playing a tournament now, so I like some of my opponents could be viewers. But I occasionally do viewer challenges. Probably due for a viewer challenge stream like pretty soon. I mean, probably my next stream. Like I usually try and do it on Sundays if I manage to find the time. I haven't done simuls in a while. I know simuls are fun for the people playing in them, but they can be hard to follow especially if you're not having a game in them. But I do occasionally do the blindfold simuls. It can be a very difficult mental task. I am going to try and stay awake for at least the beginning of the match. I might have some coffee at a questionable time. I mean, I already had like an iced latte pretty late. Here's my latte. It's like almost gone. A little bit left. I was thinking about this line. I didn't think black gets enough compensation. Like takes bishop e2. I guess black gets 3 pawns for it. Unless I could... No, I can't take there. Okay, so I'll take. So on the surface, like 3 pawns for a minor piece sounds like a fair trade. Like usually we're taught that bishops are worth 3 points. But generally, like in middle game positions, it's, I think, preferable to have the minor piece. Of course, there's always exceptions to the rules, but um, yeah, black doesn't really have like any strong, like super strong annoying pawns. And this pawn is actually a weakness. I'm just realizing I think I'm winning because like the knight can't maintain itself on e5, and I can take on g4. Okay, this is nice. Extra piece. Queens are off the board. Still have to watch out for like a knight getting to d3. I'm actually not entirely sure if I want to trade. But trading is probably the simple option. Trade, castle. I mean, the pawns control space, but there's only so much black can do with them. And if ever pawn e4, then this pawn becomes a little bit backwards. Like I'm thinking rook d1 now. Although with rook d1, I have to be careful of d4 takes, and then e3, e2. Like I don't want my rooks to get forked. So let's start with knight b3. Attacking a pawn. And if c4, I can play knight d4. And yeah, it's hard for black to get the knight here. Knight e5, I'm ready to take. Why didn't Eric take the knight on e5? Oops. That was a complete blind spot. I think from both of us. That was a free knight. I was so fixated on this thing. I forgot about this thing. Yeah, the later the stream goes, is I think the more things I miss in like simple things. But thankfully, I think things are still under control here. Rook f2, allowing the king to maybe come to e2. Play rook d1 first. Knight might hop around back to f4. Okay, b3. Yeah, I didn't want to take and allow rook a8. Yeah, c4 would be a nice move to begin breaking down the center. So I was briefly calculating this, which might still play out. I think I'd put my king on d2. Okay, now let's go in. So I'm either winning this pawn or I would win b6. Okay, now I put the king on d2. Are we going to see a fork? King e5 is likely. Not giving away anything for free. Nothing in life is free. Except that knight that I missed earlier. And this a3 pawn. Yeah, rook e2, I bring the knight to d5. Everything stays defended. Hey, it's someone.
Someone
Getting
purchased
merch.
Oh No, My Queen t-shirt for $22.95.
Hey, I broke 2600. Okay. Let me quickly check the opening. I think this is a pleasant line though. Like 95 and yeah, f4 is one of the playable moves. Engine actually prefers queen h5 first. Yeah, this is a complete blind spot. I mean, queen e8 is still like much better for white. Anyway, I think I'm gonna wrap things up. As much as I want to continue streaming, I might be awake for a long time if I do plan to watch the match. And I don't think it's likely I'll do commentary for the match, just because there's so many other channels doing commentary. But I do encourage people to tune in to chess history. What about the iced latte? Oh, there's still a little bit left. I'll finish it. Like a few drops. The game starts in what? 10, not 10 minutes.
Thanks for the stream.
Oh, thank you, Dave. Appreciate it. It starts in 5 hours and 10 minutes. Actually, 5 hours and 9 minutes. I'd probably recommend. I mean, the channel I like to tune into is twitch.tv/chess. Commentary from Fabiano and Robert and Tanya. I think there's also commentary from Dubov and Irina Krush. I think also Chess Network. Like different streams will provide different vibes, different value. Sometimes the smaller streams will have like more interaction, which can be cool. So I do appreciate all the people tuning in, all the support. Had some fun games. Tried to keep things instructive. There were some very destructive games though. And then, yeah, I think the next stream I will do some viewer challenges. So anyone that wants to try and get a game next stream, be sure to follow, have notifications turned on. Maybe I'll try to do some more chess versus chat, like play the bot that votes on moves. Okay. Let's send a raid to Pepe. Doing some... Looks like he's doing some chill chess. Some Blitz Arena. Hey, it's Jude. Ah, you're raiding at the very end of the stream. I've already initiated a raid to Pepe, but I appreciate the raid. If you're just joining, I just played a lot of like fun instructive chess, including one game. I'll share the big highlight from today's stream. Look at the finish to this game. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. En passant checkmate. This was a highlight. So be sure to tune in on YouTube for the feature of this game. Do you ship merch international? Yes, yeah. Merch can be shipped all over the world. Um, I think almost every country, at least the majority of countries. And there are suppliers like in Europe and I believe Asia as well. So anyway, I'll be back in the future. Stay tuned for more and see you guys soon.